Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's me, Desi, and welcome to another episode of Meat and Potatoes. Now, I'm really excited today because today we are on location at the brand spanking new Bright Ideas Brewery in North Adams, right in the heart of Mass Mocha. And we're going to get a special behind-the-scenes look at Berkshire County's newest brewery with co-founder and owner, Orion Howard. Now, Dr. Howard, I'd like to welcome you to the show today.
Thank you very much, Desi. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, happy to have you. Thanks so much for doing this. Now, I called you Dr. Howard because you are, in fact, a doctor. Is that right?
I am, in fact, a doctor.
Do you have your doctorate in beer making?
I don't have a doctorate in beer making. I actually have a regular old doctorate taking care of patients.
Oh, cool. What kind of doctor are you?
I'm an oncologist, Desi. I run the cancer center up in Bennington, Vermont.
Wow, that's great. And now you're opening a brewery? Wait, let me ask you, are you on a mission to find a way for beer to cure cancer?
It's funny you say that because a bunch of people have been sending me links to articles about the curative properties of beer with regard to cancer, and I responded them not long ago by saying, you have put my life into context, which is great.
That's beautiful. Well done. Now, I think you would get a lot of support if you could find some way, for all that to come together. So.
I think that would be true, and I think we're a little ways from that before we go too far down this path.
Oh, okay. Well, keep working on it, and I'm sure you'll get plenty more emails in the future, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, this is a wonderful, your brand new, spanking new tap room here and brewery called Bright Ideas Brewery. And where'd Bright Ideas come from?
It's funny. This is the old Sprague electric plant.
Oh, right.
So they produced a lot of electrical paraphernalia here over the years.
Sure they did, yeah.
And so we were playing off the electrical work they did here. Oh. And some pretty tanks back behind you, but one of those tanks is called a Bright tank. Which is where the tank you use to make the beer the cleanest and prettiest and brightest. Oh, so we were playing off the Bright tank, which is spelled differently, and the electric, and the fact that these are bright ideas.
Yeah, this is Bright Idea. Mass Mocha needed a brewery, if you ask me.
I think Mass Mocha and the city of North Adams needed a brewery, and the whole area.
Great new addition to the town, definitely.
Thank you.
All right, now, I happen to know a little known fact about you.
Uh-oh.
Now, your family used to distill whiskey for a long time. Is that right?
Bourbon.
Bourbon whiskey. Oh,
in Louisville, Kentucky.
Awesome. Yeah. So, did that inspire you at all to open a brewery?
It actually, I've had almost no connection with that side of the family. This was purely a labor of love. Well, started and conceived right here.
Yeah, it's been a long time in the making too, right?
It is. I used to be a wine guy for a long time. And I converted to a beer guy about 3 years ago.
You came from the dark side.
I did.
Right.
I came from the dark side to the fun side.
Exactly. All right. So, Orion, I have one more question. You have two employees here that I'm curious about.
Sure.
First of all, who is Lucinda?
Lucinda is our beautiful yellow truck.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Lucinda is a beautiful yellow truck that we went down to Southwick, Mass. to buy. In the colors that we use for the brewery. Actually, very much like the color of your nose and your eyes.
Oh, yeah, those bright colors. I love them. The bright ideas.
Pops out, right?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, so that's Lucinda.
Cool. And what about Fritz? Who's Fritz?
Fritz is down on the end of the bar there. And Fritz is a machine that came to us from Oscar Blues Brewing Company.
Oh, right.
And Fritz is used to can beer right here on site.
Oh, that's cool.
So if you come in and you want to take something home, we fill it right there in our tap system. We put a lid on it. Those are the lids right there.
Yeah.
And we put the lids on the cans, take them down to Fritz on the other end of the bar there, and Fritz will seal those right on site.
That's so cool. So not only can you have beer, you can come in and take some beer with you to go, right?
Yes, you can.
Awesome. Well, Orion, you offered to give me a little behind-the-scenes tour of the brewery.
Very happy to do that.
And I'm excited to check it out. So you going to show me around a little bit? Let's check it out.
Yes, sir. Let's go.
All right, let's go.
All right. Great. So let's go into the brewery here.
All right.
So here we are.
Let's check it out. Yeah.
Come on in.
Yeah, thanks.
So, Desi, this is the Brew House. This is the heart of the operation. This is where everything starts.
This is where the beer's really made, right?
This is where the beer is made, indeed. So what we do, this big tank up here has hot water down at the bottom.
Yeah.
And all of our barley goes up in here. And the barley comes up that tube, down into that funnel, gets hydrated as it comes in here.
Which means you add water to it, right?
We add water. We make the dry barley into wet barley.
Oh, cool.
Basically a big barley soup in there at about 160 degrees.
Whoa, that's hot.
Yeah.
That's not quite boiling.
No, it's going to boil over here in a minute.
Oh, it is? Okay,
so
cool.
yeah, in here what we're doing is we're getting the starches, the sugars, out of the barley.
Okay.
And that sugar is what's going to get eventually turned into alcohol.
Oh, cool.
So what we're taking, you don't think of there being much sugar in barley, but there's actually a lot.
Oh, I bet.
But it'll take about 500 pounds of barley for us to get the sugar we need to make one batch of beer.
Wow.
So over here, we're going to leave this in here for about an hour.
Okay.
And we're going to get all the sugar out of that barley.
Okay.
Then through these fancy pipes and things here, we're going to transfer that barley sugar water over into this thing here.
That big vat.
Which is our kettle.
The kettle.
This is where we're going to boil the beer.
It's not black.
What's that?
Aren't kettles black?
This kettle is beautiful stainless steel.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. If it gets black, we're in trouble.
Oh yeah, keep it clean.
Keep it clean. This is where we're going to be boiling, and this is where we're going to be adding our hops.
Oh, yeah.
And that's going to give a bitterness to the beer that's going to balance out the sweetness of the sugars and the sweetness of the alcohol.
Do you put hops in all beers?
We put hops in almost all beers.
Yeah.
In fact, all beers we've made thus far, we've added hops to.
Oh, cool.
Some beers have a lot of hops. Some beers have only a little bit of hops.
Okay.
Maybe 20 times the amount of hops in some beers as in some other beers.
So some have a lot of hops and some don't have much at all.
Correct. Our wheat beer has very little hops. Our IPA has more hops than anything else.
Oh, cool. All right, so what's the next step of the process?
So I'm going to take you back down, and we're going to look at the next step.
All right, cool. Let's go.
All right, let's go. So Desi, this little thing is one of the most important parts of the brewery, believe
This
it or
one
not.
right here.
This one right here. This is called a heat exchanger.
Okay.
This is going to cool our 212 degree boiling wort. It's called wort.
Wort.
W-O-R-T.
Like what you get on your fingers if you play with toads.
But with an O.
Oh,
with
okay.
an O. Wort.
W-O-R-T. Okay.
And it's going to get cooled from 212 degrees down to 65 degrees.
And this does that?
And this is going to do that. This is cold city water running in here from the city of North Adams.
From North Adams, cool.
Yep. And this is hot water running out over here.
Oh, yeah.
And that water coming in cold, running out hot, is going to cool this wort coming in at 212.
Okay.
Coming in right back here at 212 degrees. And it's going to cool it by the time it comes out here down to 65.
Oh, wow.
And it does that like the radiator of a car in reverse.
Okay.
Running things in hot, out cold. That's how the water goes.
Cool. Because you don't want.
That's how the wort goes.
Because you like cold beer.
You like cold beer. And
That's
more
right.
importantly, in our next step, we're going to put yeast into the beer to make it make alcohol.
Oh, well.
And you have to do that when it's about 65 degrees.
Oh, okay.
If you throw yeast into 212 degree wort,
Yeah.
that yeast is going to die instantly, and that's not going to give us anything.
All right. Well, let's check it out.
All right, let's go.
All right, let's go. All right, Orion, what are these now? What's the next step here?
Desi, these are the fermenters.
The fermenters.
The fermenters. So these are, again, beautiful stainless steel devices.
Oh, yeah.
And what happens here is we're going to pump that wort that's coming through that heat exchanger after it's cooled down to 65.
Cooled down to 65 degrees, yeah.
We're going to pump it into one of these. We got a couple smaller ones over here. This is our big boy. This is our 14-barrel fermenter.
14 barrels.
So actually 2 batches out of our kettle will go into here to fill this thing up.
Oh, wow, okay.
This is about 450 gallons of beer in there.
That's a lot of beer. That's going to
lot of
last
beer.
you a while.
That is going to last us a while.
Definitely, yeah.
So that gets pumped in here.
Okay.
Sits in here, and we throw in yeast from the top there.
Okay.
And when that yeast hits the wort, that's when we start to call it beer. Because from that moment forward, that yeast is going to turn all that sugar that we put in there into alcohol.
Okay.
And that's how the beer is going to get its alcohol and become beer.
Yeah, that becomes beer. Beautiful.
Correct.
All right, so
this process is going to take anywhere from 7 days for some beers, all the way up to can take months for some of the really complicated, intense beers.
Oh, wow. What's the longest you take to make a beer so far?
So far, the longest beer we've made is actually in one of our fermenters over here. It's been in there now for about 2.5 weeks.
Wow.
And it's going to be in there for about another week and a half before it's ready. That's our double IPA.
Oh, the double IPA.
So it has a lot more sugar and it has to make a lot more alcohol. And when the yeast get a lot of alcohol on them, they start to get a little funny and they start to go a little slower.
Oh.
So the process slows down a bit and it takes a while to get that last bit of sugar converted.
Like when people drink beer, sometimes they move a little slower.
Sometimes they slow down and sometimes the yeast slows down. We don't want people to slow down for beer.
Drink in moderation. Have fun.
You
That's
got
right.
it.
But,
You got it.
All right.
All
All right.
right.
So what? Is there another step here? What
There's
next?
one last step.
One last step. Well, let's go check it out. Okay.
All right.
All right. The last step here. This looks like one of the fermenters, right?
It looks almost identical to a
Yeah.
fermenter. And practically speaking, it does. It is a fermenter.
Uh-huh.
But we do something different here. What we do here is we take the beer out of the fermenter that's
After
now
it's
had
beer.
all the
Yeah.
sugar converted into alcohol. So that's beer.
Uh-huh.
But that is warm, non-carbonated beer.
Oh, yeah,
But in
right.
the States, people like their beer cold and carbonated, bubbly.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So this is what we're going to use to get it cold and bubbly.
oh, cool.
So the outside of this
like
tank,
bubbles, like fizz when you drink a soda pop.
exactly
too.
like
beer
fizz when you
has
drink a
that
soda
too,
pop.
right?
Beer has that too, and you
Cool.
can get that a lot of ways. You can
Yeah.
get that with the yeast and with the sugar,
Uh-huh.
but it's much simpler sometimes to do it this way.
Okay, cool.
So we're going to put all that beer into this, what's called a bright tank. Remember back
The
to our
bright
name?
tank.
Bright
Like
tank.
Bright Ideas,
Bright
right.
Ideas,
Yeah, cool.
bright tank. This is jacketed with glycol, which runs at 29 degrees.
Okay.
And will cool this beer to any temperature we want. Right now the beer in here is 34 degrees.
That's pretty cold.
It is pretty darn cold.
Yeah.
And then what we do is we put carbon dioxide into this little nozzle down
Okay.
here. And there's a stone in there. It's actually not a stone. It's a piece of stainless steel with millions of holes created by making the stainless steel white hot and dipping it into liquid nitrogen.
Wow,
And it
interesting.
cracks the stainless steel into millions of little holes.
Wow.
And you will get millions of little bubbles from the carbon dioxide bubbling up through the beer.
They go through those cracks that you
It
made,
goes
right?
through all
Yeah.
those little cracks and holes
Cool.
in the stone.
Yeah.
And we can carbonate 220 gallons of beer
Wow.
in about 3 hours this way.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
That's how you
And
get
that's the
bubbly
last
cold
step.
beer, huh?
That's how we get bubbly cold beer.
That's great.
And then out of this tank, we're
Yeah.
going to take that beer and we're going to put it in kegs.
Oh, cool.
And then we can either sell those kegs
Yeah.
here or we can sell them to other restaurants and places in the city of North Adams.
Oh, cool. So
And one day we might sell it to the whole world.
Oh, that's the plan, huh?
That's the master plan that we don't want to get to for a long time.
Take your time. Take
we
your
have
time.
duty here in North Adams.
That's right. You
first.
got plenty of beer to feed to people in North Adams.
You
first.
got it. You
So
got
and it sounds like you're selling to some local restaurants and things like that. So
We're selling it to a couple local restaurants and
Yeah.
shortly to a lot of local restaurants.
Oh,
Hopefully,
cool.
anybody in North Adams and their surrounding area who wants it,
so you could have it on tap. You could have Bright Ideas right on tap at your
you
restaurant.
could
Yeah.
indeed.
They just need to talk to you, right?
That's right.
Oh yeah, come by Bright Ideas. Pick up a keg to take with you. Well, yeah. Well,
Or-
that's kind of how it works,
or
right?
That one day it might be how it works. Right now we'd like to stick a little smaller, but we'll get there. We'll
All
get
right.
there.
Well, that's great. We've been well educated on beer making today. This is great. Let's head back to the bar and we'll have a little more chat, okay?
Fantastic.
All right, thanks.
Off this way.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
All right, well, that was great. Thanks so much for the tour.
Oh, you're very welcome. That was fun.
Yeah, now, I've got a couple things here. Now, I've noticed that a lot of beer companies nowadays, they have these crazy names for beers, right? And
They do.
Yours are pretty straightforward, which I appreciate. You got your ale and your IPA and your, what's the other one? The ESB, right?
The ESB, the stout, the brown, the red, the
Yeah.
goza. Yep.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Well, I was fiddling around the other day. I came up with some clever names for some beers, which you're more than welcome to use.
Oh,
if
that
you
would be
like.
fantastic.
Here, let me just go through a couple of them here. Let's see. There's Back to the Future.
That is a wonderful.
Right?
That's
You could
a
do
great
like a whole
idea.
Marty McFly thing, right?
That is
You could
awesome.
do a whole series of.
I've never actually seen that one out there.
Oh,
so
see,
that would be.
that comes straight from Desi. Trademark Desi 2016. You could do a whole series of IPAs. You could do the IPA lot. Or IPA little, IPA bunch. Exactly.
I like that.
Those are good. You could use those too.
There are all
right, let's
kinds of
see.
places we could go with that.
Let's see. I got a bunch of good nitro and good luck.
That's well done.
Making it grain.
I like that.
Yeah. I'll be back. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'll be back. Yeah.
That's a beautiful.
3 pints and you're out. Baseball theme, right? No, maybe not.
I think we started really strong.
Oh, yeah, let's see here. Here, you can read a couple here. You go ahead. See what's else. There's a
What else we got there?
get the heck out of here.
I'm stout of here.
I'm stout of here. That's good too.
Yep.
Malt controlled
I
elite.
can barley walk. We
I can
want to avoid that kind
Well,
of name.
that's true. Responsible drinking, everybody, right?
This is an incredible list. Did
Well,
you
thank
came
Ales
up
well
with
that
this?
ends well. Oh yeah. I have a name for a brewery too. Check this out. The Cruise Inn. Hippohoptimus, exactly. The Cruise Inn for a Brews Inn.
Ooh,
how's that?
That's nice.
Complicated.
That's a brewery name.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I love that.
Beers Johnny.
Yeah,
right?
no, these are fantastic. This is
a bunch of them.
There are many breweries out there who would die for this list.
All right. Yeah. What do you like my list so far?
Your list is fantastic. There are many breweries out there who would die for this.
I should
list.
keep some of my ideas.
You should keep this. This is millions.
You know
right
Drake
here.
the rapper?
Yes.
You should make a beer for him called Hopline Bling. Hopline. You know when that Hopline Bling? You know what I'm talking about? You know.
My
the
son,
kids out
my
there
son
know.
would understand that perfectly.
Dessert beer. Tiramisu.
Tiramisu is.
That's beautiful, right?
That's beautiful.
Ale to the chief.
Ooh, that's nice.
The pills are alive with the sound of bruisic.
Ooh. You had a lull there, but now you're back on
Getting
target.
back on it. That's
This is
good.
beautiful. This is absolutely beautiful.
Read another one there. What haven't I missed yet?
Ale Caesar.
Ale Caesar, of course.
No stout in my mind.
No stout. And what's the next one?
The
Give me a
benefit.
benefit of the stout.
The benefit of the stout.
Beautiful.
I'm giving you the benefit of the stout.
You are. That's good.
No. What goes around comes around.
Oh, because
I
the
love
goes
that one. The
is a
goes
type
is
of
very.
beer, right?
It's goes up, but this works.
Goes
this
around,
works.
comes around. Exactly.
What goes around comes around. What else?
Ooh, I like this one. Beer and Loathing in North Adams.
Ooh.
That'd be good.
That's deep. That's very deep.
And Operation Desert Stout.
Ooh, yeah.
Throwback to military
and it's a musical one.
Operations of the 90s, right?
There's Stout, Let It Ale Out.
Oh, like
remember Tears for Fears?
Tears for or it could be Tears for Beers. Exactly.
I love that.
Beautiful.
That's beautiful.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for 3 questions. 3 questions with Desi. Dr. Howard, Orion, got 3 quick questions for you. Okay?
Absolutely. Shoot.
Now, you are from Palo Alto, California.
I am.
What does Palo Alto mean in Spanish?
It means, I think it means the heights.
It actually means Palo is tree, and it means
tall tree.
Exactly.
I should have known that. I'm going to be in real trouble for that.
That's all right. You know now.
I actually came from a little town near there called Los Altos Hills.
Oh, well, that would be the tall hills, right?
The tall hills.
Perfect. All right, number 2. If you were not an oncologist and brew pub owner, what would you do for a living?
I would actually be a forest ranger.
Oh, cool.
I would.
Is that like a passion of yours?
That's a passion.
All right, awesome. All right, number 3. I always like to throw a math question out there. Now, how many pints of beer would you have to drink a gallon of beer?
That would be 8.
Oh, you're very good at math. Well done.
Thank you.
Well, Orion, it was a pleasure having you on the show today.
Really a pleasure being here. Thank you so much.
Hey, best of luck to you in the future.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you come out to Bright Ideas Brewing Company here in Mass Mocha and check out June 19th, their grand opening day party. And I'd like to give a little shout out to the Cultural Council of Northern Berkshires for keeping this show going. Everybody, have a great day. Thank you so much, Orion.
Thank you.
It's been a blast. Woohoo! We'll see you next time on Meat and Potatoes. Woo!